Hello, Trump Take 5 here. Are you wondering what Donald Trump was up to yesterday? Well, good news, you're in the right place. I was actually going to take the day off today because I was thinking yesterday being a holiday, it might be quiet, but by 6:30 a.m., Donald Trump had set Twitter on fire with a tweet, and it became clear that this administration does not take holidays off as far as dominating the news cycle goes. So this was an interesting situation. Greg Sargent, who is an opinion writer for the Washington Post, tweeted out a story that he wrote about Trump's rage tweets about LeVar Ball being a part of a pattern. The gist of that story was that Trump regularly attacks high-profile African Americans not just for racist reasons, but also to feed his supporters, his real base, the idea that the system is rigged for minorities. So he tweeted that out, and then Donald Trump responded to it, "Make America Great Again," in all capitals. Now, it's obvious this was a mistake. This wasn't supposed to be a reply. He tweeted the exact same thing on his own timeline a little bit later. So this started floating around Twitter, and that was the idea, was that isn't this an embarrassing mistake to make? When you think about it a little bit more, he was still making that tweet, "Make America Great Again," in all capital letters with an exclamation point. He was still making that in response to seeing this other tweet. So it wasn't meant as a reply, it was conceived as a response to that being out there, though. So an unhappy mistake, perhaps, by the president. The president did quite a few things that the president does on holidays. I won't get into every single thing that he did because all presidents seem to do them, but pretty much everything that he did involved him telling people, telling the military, telling people from the Coast Guard, other people that he was in contact with, how good everything's going because he is the president. And this ties into another tweet that had a lot of traction on Twitter yesterday that his son tweeted out, Donald Trump Jr., while Senior was going around telling everybody that everything's all right now that he's the president, that things weren't going so good before, but don't worry, everything's good because magically from not doing anything, basically, things have been turning around, including the economy, which we know for all intents and purposes, when a president inherits the White House, the economy is inherited as well, especially for the first year or so. So as a citizen and a candidate, Trump criticized everything that was going on in the country, but now he's more than happy to take credit for the high numbers that have continued from the last administration. And let's not forget that right before the campaign reached its finale, he was still talking about the unemployment numbers as being false. His perspective has changed. But anyways, his son tweeted out an article from The Economist bragging, "You know you're winning when even The Economist acknowledges POTUS is making things work for the middle class as promised." Many people quickly pointed out that Donald Trump Jr. must not have read the article because inside of it, it basically pointed out the fact that Trump just inherited a good economy. He has done nothing that has changed things. He's just there at the right time. So it was kind of an unfortunate thing for Junior to tweet out. But then again, the reality is that people who would believe it are going to believe it either way and probably won't read the article anyways. The biggest bit of news in Trump's orbit yesterday, though, was certainly the New York Times story and their reporting about Michael Flynn. His lawyer had contacted a lawyer in the White House to tell them that they would no longer be discussing the case. And this is a clear indication that Flynn is in talks to cooperate with Robert Mueller. Now, it doesn't mean that that will work out. That's something you have to keep in mind for sure. It's a conflict of interest for Flynn's lawyer to discuss the case with another lawyer who's still under investigation if they're in talks with the special counsel's office to cooperate. That doesn't mean that the special counsel has offered him a deal or has accepted his cooperation, but it does serve as an indication that that process has been started. So this will be something that will unfold and we'll learn more about in the coming days. But many people have speculated that Flynn is very worried about his son being tied up and being criminally responsible. It's already pretty clear that he has criminal exposure, like he committed crimes. But his son being pulled into it and also being sent to prison seems to be a good bargaining chip against him falling on his own sword for the Trump administration. If he has something that Mueller wants, then he'll end up flipping and he'll cooperate. And that could set up a situation where the president's pardon won't matter, because if he's indicated in a conspiracy to commit these crimes, not just complicit with the criminal activity, then he could be in a situation where he can't use his presidential pardon to get out of jail free. So that's the day in a nutshell. Like I said, he did do quite a few things that were distracting in the way that he handled them, but what else would you expect at this point? Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel. Turn on notifications. You'll find out as soon as I upload. And I'm trying to do this on a near daily basis so that you can avoid the 24-hour madness that comes along with this administration. Tell your friends, share the video, help them avoid Trump fatigue as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.